Hi, welcome to the Disability and Dyslexia Service. I'm Beverly Sykes. I am one of the disability advisors based in First Point. There are a team of advisors. There are 5 of us, 1 full-time and 4 part-time. Within our team we have specialist academic support tutors, support workers and administrators. 14% of our students at the university have some form of disability, mental health issue, specific learning difficulties such as dyslexia or dyspraxia, or perhaps a medical condition. So, who are we and what do we do? The Disability and Dyslexia Service offers advice on any disability. This is based on your individual needs and is tailored to you. We look at the evidence that you have and we discuss what support you might need. And then we agree the support and put that in place. We also offer specialist support. Normally this is a specialist academic support tutor that you might meet with perhaps once a week, maybe more, and they give you support such as helping you with research methods, planning, timetabling, a whole host of issues that they might help you with to support your studies. You might have access to a specialist mentor. A specialist mentor can help you with your mental health issues, your well-being. They're like a friendly ear, a bit like somebody that you can talk to outside of the university that can just support you. As well as specialist support, we offer a specialist learning difficulty diagnostic service. This is where you can go and be assessed to see whether you might possibly have dyslexia or dyspraxia. If you are diagnosed with this, you would then need to see a disability advisor where we can discuss the sort of support that you might need and whether you can then go on to have additional funding to support those needs. We often liaise with core staff and other members of the university in order for them to fully understand what support you might need and how to deliver that support. We can only do this with consent from yourselves. Disability advice. We encourage students to meet with a disability advisor as early as possible to discuss their support needs. An advisor can go through what sort of support may help in lectures, exams or in a placement setting. We can help students through the process of applying for Disabled Students Allowance, which can fund additional support. We can talk more about this later. In order to access support at the university, we need to have some evidence of what your medical condition, your specific learning difficulty or your disability is. Therefore, we need to have acceptable evidence. A disability advisor will check the evidence that you've got to make sure it meets higher education requirements. This can be an existing specific learning difficulty report, which has to be a full report by a qualified assessor with a practicing certificate or an educational psychologist. It's important to note the Form A access arrangement documents which you may have had at college or school are not acceptable evidence at university level. The university offers an in-house specific learning difficulty assessment process if your evidence is not suitable, as discussed earlier. We can also accept medical letters that have a confirmed diagnosed condition that states that it's a long-term condition and how it impacts you, how it affects your daily life. How does the university meet your needs? Well, first of all, through the disability advisor appointment, we would discuss what reasonable adjustments could be made at the university. For example, it could be that you need extra time in your exams. It could be that you need PowerPoints and presentations in advance of your lecture. There's a whole variety of support needs that we can put in place for you. It could be through assistive technology, for example, text-to-speech software or voice recognition software. You also might need personalised support. Some of this could be funded through the Disabled Students Allowance. All of the support needs vary. It depends on your individual circumstances and we always tailor this to the individual student. In exams, you could have extra time. You might be able to use a PC. You could have voice recognition software, maybe a small group environment. Sometimes you could have a reader or a scribe. This is mainly in limited cases. Exam papers might be in alternative formats. You might need rest breaks. It's not an exhaustive list. Again, this is all tailored to the individual needs of the student. The university has a range of assistive technology available on campus computers, which includes Dragon, which is a voice recognition software, Claro Read, which is a text-to-speech software, Inspiration, which is mind mapping software. You are also able to loan a range of equipment from us, such as radio aids and specialist chairs. This is always through a discussion with a disability advisor. You may also receive some software and equipment of your own through the Disabled Students Allowance funding, which we can go through later. As part of registering with the service online, or by completing an online consent and privacy form, you can give the Disability and Dyslexia Service permission to share information about your disability and all your support needs with the core staff. This means that the core staff are able to better support you. Your DDS1 is available to you online, and your DDS1 is a support plan which you can access online or you can print at any time. If something needs changing or reviewing, you can come and see a disability advisor and we will discuss this with you. Sometimes it's useful for the Disability and Dyslexia Service to meet with core staff and yourselves if there's a particular issue that needs resolving. This is often prior to you starting at university, so that any potential issues can be identified. We can also help if something crops up when you've started. We're always available throughout your time at the university. Your university support can be supplemented through something called the Disabled Students Allowance, DSA. This is a government grant, it's not a loan, therefore any equipment or support that you were given doesn't need to be paid back. The equipment is kept for yourself and it can go with you to another university if you choose not to study with the University of Worcester. Here is a short video about the Disabled Students Allowance.
Disabled Students Allowances, also known as DSAs, are grants to help students pay for any extra essential costs they may have as a direct result of a disability. This includes long-term health conditions, mental health conditions, or specific learning difficulties, such as dyslexia. DSAs are available to help pay for various types of extra support, such as specialist equipment, note takers, or other disability-related costs a student might have during their studies. DSAs can also help pay for a student's travel to and from their uni, college, or placements. What a student will get depends on their individual needs and the type of help they qualify for. DSAs don't depend on a student's household income, and they don't need to be paid back. The application process can take up to 14 weeks, so it's important that students apply early to make sure their DSAs are ready in time for starting their course.
Now you've had a chance to watch the video, I'll give you a short summary about the DSA. As I mentioned before, it's government funded, it's a grant, it's not a loan, therefore there's nothing to pay back. It's given to you in terms of equipment or software or non-medical helper, which is maybe a specialist mentor or specialist academic support tutor. You can have an allowance for a taxi maybe, or it could be general allowance which can go towards helping meet the costs of print inks and paper. All of this is discussed through a needs assessment which you will have after you've been approved for the Disabled Students Allowance. A needs assessment isn't a test, it's just a chat with the needs assessor to tailor your support to yourself so it will meet your individual needs. Then that is then sent off to the Disabled Students Allowance, who will then agree the support and then let you know how to access that support. The Disabled Students Allowance is allocated to you, the student, not the university, so it's transferable, so it can go with you to another university if you decide to change course, or if you decide not to study at the University of Worcester. It's administered by your funding body. For example, it could be Student Finance England or Student Finance Wales. The funding is not means tested, but it's based on your support needs. How do you get the DSA? You can apply online through your Student Finance England or Wales portal, or you can use a paper form, which we can give you. If applying through Student Finance England or Student Finance Wales, you'll need to email or post your evidence separately. At some point, Student Finance England are going to offer the option of being able to upload the evidence directly. The evidence is usually the same evidence that you will have supplied to us. Once the DSA have received your evidence and your application form, they'll have a look at it, and if they agree, you'll receive a DSA eligibility letter. You will use that letter in order for you to book a needs assessment. Once you've had the needs assessment, as discussed before, the needs assessor will send a report back to the DSA, who will have a look and then agree that support for you. If you don't have suitable evidence of a specific learning difficulty such as dyslexia, you can get a full diagnostic assessment report completed at the university. A range of tests will be completed with you and you will be asked about your educational background. You don't have to get your assessment done at the university, but if you do have it at the university, you will benefit from a reimbursement. Current students, the cost is currently £50. If you're thinking of coming to the university as a prospective students, it would cost you £270. And about 3 to 4 months after you've started at the university, you would get a reimbursement of £220. So in effect, it will only ever cost you £50. The cost outside of the university can range between £300 to £500, and as mentioned earlier, you wouldn't get a reimbursement. After the assessment, you will receive a copy of the report and be asked to attend a next steps appointment with a disability advisor, where we can discuss the outcomes of the report and we can discuss what happens next. There is plenty of other support available at the university. We have a counselling and mental health service, we have a student wellbeing team, we have an accommodation team, the Students' Union, First Point, a library service, your academic department and Access Able. The Counselling and Mental Health Service have their own web pages on the website. The Student Wellbeing Team also have their own pages on the website. The Counselling and Mental Health Service and the Student Wellbeing Team are really great resources, especially if you're suffering from any sort of anxiety, and if you just started at the university. The Wellbeing Team offers something called Fancy a Cuppa, which is a great way to get to know other people and to just become more comfortable at the university. The Students' Union is a great resource. Their website's brilliant. It's got all sorts of information on there, from societies to clubs to how you can help to events. The Students' Union also have loads of information about academic support, all sorts of ways that they can help you. It's a really good resource and very worth getting in contact with them. First Point is, as it says, it's the first point of call. You probably would have gone there maybe on your open days if you managed to visit the University of Worcester beforehand. First Point is also where you'll go and pick up your ID badge, maybe a planner, and where you go if you've got any questions. They're a really valuable team of advisors there, so if you've got any questions, always go there. If they don't know the answer, they'll certainly know how to find the answer for you. First Point are located in the Pearson building, where the Disability in Dyslexia Service are also located. Also, the IT department is in there, and there's a whole load of study and guidance areas. For anyone who needs more information about campus accessibility and routes between campuses, or maybe from the train station, for example, there are in-depth guides available on the Access Able website, and there is also a link on our own disability and dyslexia pages. Okay, so what do you need to do? Speak to a disability advisor. You can do that today, at any time through your course, or if you're a new student and you're thinking of coming to the University of Worcester, you can speak to us pre-entry. Don't forget to complete the Disability and Dyslexia Service online registration. If you can't do that online, you can always ask us for a paper copy, and you can do that by emailing it to us. You need to provide your medical evidence or diagnostic evidence. If you haven't got any evidence, we can discuss how you can obtain evidence. If you haven't already, you need to contact accommodation, especially if you're going to have any adaptations to your room, or if you've got any other specific requirements. You can also discuss this with us, and we can also help you contact accommodation. Apply for disabled students allowance. Again, we can help you do that if you've got any issues and you don't know how to do that. If you have any personal care needs, you will need to contact your local authority and perhaps the NHS so they can help support you whilst you're at the university. You might want to speak to your course, especially if you want to know about how you're assessed, whether there are any exams, whether there are any presentations, whether you've got any concerns about presentations. Perhaps there might be field trips or placements, and you might need to know how to plan for that. Maybe you want to know what the core requirements are for your course. So we've come to the end of the video. I hope it wasn't too painful and that there was enough information there for you to enable you to think about what you might need to support you whilst you're at the university. Any other questions, you're always welcome to contact us. We don't have a summer holiday. We're there throughout the year to help. In fact, the summer is often our busiest time because we're planning on how to support the students when they start in September. We have autism summer schools. We also have early inductions or maybe other taster days. You can contact us by phone on 01905 85531, or you can email us at disability@worc.ac.uk, or we can be contacted via First Point on 01905 542551. And finally, we are on social media. We have a Facebook account, which is the Disability and Dyslexia Service, and we also have a Twitter account at capital letter U, lowercase o, capital letters WDDS. Thank you for listening. We're really looking forward to seeing you and meeting you and having you at the University of Worcester. Take care, have a great summer, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.